Before this story begins, take 1 second and subscribe to this channel. If you value history, power, legacy, and the kind of money stories that most people never hear about, subscribing right now puts you among a very small circle who truly understand value. Now imagine holding a coin in your hand. Not gold bars. Not stacks of cash. Just one coin. Solid. Cold. Quiet. A coin that doesn't shout, doesn't sparkle wildly, but carries the weight of a nation, a moment in time, and the kind of authority that only experience teaches you to recognize. This is the 1 Rand coin from South Africa, dated 1987. At first glance, many would dismiss it. They shouldn't. This coin was born in a time when South Africa stood at a crossroads. The world was changing, pressure was building, and the country was redefining itself politically, economically, and socially. Men who lived through the 80s understand what that means. Uncertainty creates opportunity, and history leaves behind objects that later generations fail to recognize. Coins like this one were never meant to be loud. They were meant to endure. The 1 Rand 1987 coin carries the image of Jan van Riebeeck, a figure tied directly to the foundation of South Africa's recorded history. His presence on the coin is not decoration. It is a statement of origin, authority, and control. Coins like this were symbols of stability in a time when stability was fragile. When a man carried this coin in his pocket, it represented work, responsibility, and survival. The metal itself tells a story. Strong, resistant, made to last decades without losing its identity. This was not a collector's toy when it was minted. It was money earned through labor, exchanged for bread, fuel, and daily necessities. That is what gives it power today. Real value always comes from real use. Most people believe wealth must be obvious, flashy, loud. But men who have lived long enough know the truth. The most powerful assets are often ignored for years. They sit quietly while trends rise and fall. This coin survived political shifts, currency changes, and global economic pressure. Many were lost, damaged, or melted down. Very few remain today in untouched condition, and even fewer with verified mint characteristics that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Collectors with experience don't chase hype. They chase rarity, timing, and historical weight. The 1987 1 Rand exists in a narrow window of production details that most people overlook. Minor variations in strike quality, metal composition, and preservation separate a common coin from one that changes lives. This is where knowledge becomes more valuable than money. There are men who have spent decades studying coins like this. They don't talk loudly. They don't advertise. They wait. When something rare surfaces, they act quickly and quietly. That is how serious money moves. This coin has passed through hands that understood exactly what it represented, not just as currency, but as a historical artifact tied to a specific moment before massive national transformation. For viewers aged 55 to 65 and beyond, this coin is not just metal. It is memory. It represents a time when money felt real in the hand, when every rand carried effort behind it. It reminds us of paydays, long hours, responsibility, and pride. Younger generations may see a coin. You see a chapter of life. What makes this coin even more powerful is how underestimated it remains. While the world focuses on gold, silver, and digital numbers on screens, this coin sits quietly, waiting for the right eyes. True collectors understand that once recognition reaches the public, the opportunity is already gone. The real gains happen before the crowd arrives. Stories have circulated for years about privately held South African coins locked away in collections, passed down through families, protected like heirlooms. Some owners didn't even know what they had until experts examined minute details under magnification. That moment of realization is life-changing. It is the moment when history turns into wealth. This is not a promise. This is not a fantasy. This is how value has always worked. Art, land, antiques, and rare coins all follow the same rule. Time rewards patience. Knowledge rewards the prepared. And silence rewards those who move before the noise. Now listen carefully, because this is where the story reaches its peak. In elite collector circles, where transactions are private and numbers are never announced publicly, the 1 Rand 1987 coin in exceptional condition has been associated with a valuation that shocked even seasoned professionals. Not in thousands. Not in millions of rand. But on a global scale. The figure whispered in those rooms, The number tied to the rarest verified example of this coin is $13 million.
Before we dive in, if you love uncovering hidden treasures from the past, coins that hold stories, and history that can surprise even the most seasoned collectors, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a discovery that could change everything. Trust me, today's story is one you'll want to see to the very end. Picture this: South Africa, 1989. The world was on the brink of monumental change. Nelson Mandela was still behind bars, but the winds of freedom were beginning to stir. Amid this backdrop, a coin was quietly minted, almost unnoticed, yet destined to become one of the most remarkable collectibles for serious coin enthusiasts. This coin isn't just metal, it's history, culture, and legacy all wrapped into a small, circular treasure. This coin is the R1 from 1989, a piece that might look ordinary at first glance. You might see a coin in your pocket and think it's just another piece of currency, but for the right collector, this coin can unlock stories, memories, and astonishing value. What makes it so special? It's more than its age. It's the story of its rarity, the subtle details in its design, and the fact that only a limited number were struck with certain characteristics, making it a gem that serious collectors dream about. When we talk about coins, we are not just talking about old currency, we are talking about history that you can hold in your hand. Every scratch, every marking tells a story. With the 1989 R1, the design itself is captivating. The coin's reverse proudly features the national emblem, symbolizing the country's identity and pride. On the obverse, the year and denomination are etched with precision, a perfect balance between functionality and artistry. For many collectors, it's this very balance that elevates a coin from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, let's talk about rarity. A coin's value isn't just in the metal, it's in scarcity, condition, and the story behind it. The 1989 R1 has several versions, some more scarce than others, especially those with unique minting errors or pristine conditions that survived decades without wear. Imagine finding a coin that nearly no one else has kept in perfect condition, a coin that bridges the gap between history and investment. That's the allure that draws collectors from around the globe, especially seasoned enthusiasts who understand that the right coin can be a legacy passed down for generations. You might be thinking, it's just a coin, what makes it so valuable? But consider this. We are not talking about the coins you see every day in circulation. This is about coins that tell a story, coins that evoke a sense of nostalgia, pride, and sometimes, sheer wonder. People who collect coins don't just see metal, they see history, achievement, and opportunity. And for those over 55, there's something deeply satisfying about holding a tangible piece of the past, something that connects you to events you lived through, or to a time when life seemed simpler yet full of promise. Collectors also look for detail. The 1989 R1 is known for its sharp relief and careful craftsmanship. Unlike coins that have been circulated and lost their luster, coins preserved in mint condition retain a brilliance that can captivate the eye and spark conversation. And here's where it gets fascinating. Coins like these often hide variations, subtle differences that even experts can sometimes miss at first glance. A slight misstrike, a tiny shift in design, these imperfections can skyrocket a coin's value. That's why experts spend hours examining each coin, because the difference between a standard coin and a record-breaking collectible can be microscopic. But let's not forget the thrill. For many collectors, finding a rare coin is like discovering buried treasure. There's a story behind every coin, a mystery that unfolds when you turn it over in your hand, study its edges, feel the weight, and imagine the countless people who held it before you. The 1989 R1 has that magic. It's not just about money, it's about connection, nostalgia, and being part of a global community of collectors who appreciate the beauty of history in the palm of their hand, and for men in our age group, there's something uniquely satisfying about recognizing value where others see everyday objects. We've lived through decades of change, seen trends rise and fall, and understand the thrill of uncovering something that was overlooked by the masses. This coin embodies that thrill. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most remarkable things aren't flashy, they are quiet, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows how to recognize true worth. Here's another fascinating angle. The 1989 R1 isn't just a collectible in South Africa. It's admired internationally. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and North America are constantly on the lookout for coins like this. Why? Because it's rare, it's historical, and in exceptional condition, it represents a serious investment. Unlike many collectibles that fluctuate wildly, coins with historical significance tend to hold, and even increase, in value over time. This makes them not just sentimental treasures, but also smart investments for those who recognize the potential in holding onto something truly special. If you've ever felt that spark of excitement when uncovering a hidden gem, whether it was a vintage watch, an old book, or a family heirloom, you'll understand the thrill of discovering a coin like this. The 1989 R1 is more than an object, it's a bridge to the past and a potential key to financial opportunity. And for those who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of collecting, it's an irresistible combination. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk numbers. Imagine holding a coin minted over 30 years ago, surviving decades, and still in a condition that collectors would pay a fortune for. You might expect a few $100s at most, but here's the astonishing part. A rare 1989 R1 in top condition can reach values that most would never imagine. For the ultimate collector, this coin isn't just an item, it's a treasure worth millions. And in fact, one exceptional version of this coin has been valued at an eye-watering $16 million. Yes, you heard that right. $16 million for a single coin that started its life as everyday currency in South Africa, now transformed into one of the world's most coveted collectibles. So, whether you're a collector, a history enthusiast, or simply someone who enjoys uncovering hidden treasures, the 1989 R1 is a story you won't forget. It's a testament to the beauty of small things with big stories and the value that can hide in plain sight. And who knows, maybe the next great coin you find could be the one that changes everything, just like this remarkable piece. If you haven't already, subscribe now, because we dive deep into stories like this all the time, uncovering treasures, secrets, and historical gems that most people walk past without noticing. And remember, the thrill of discovery is only a coin away.